So whether you're a long-term viewer or someone who's recently discovered my channel, it's a safe bet that you might not have watched every last video I produced this year. So I'd like to take some time to run through the video highlights of my channel in 2023, but also the year in metal, my favorite metal channel videos from others, and whatever else comes to mind. So yeah, stick around. So before I go into what happened on my channel in 2023, let's take a brief look at the year in metal. So we had some bands reform in 2023, including Terrorizer, who actually broke up early in the year just to reform in the summer. Also Forbidden, Newstead, and Sabotage, though the last will likely only be for one more album. We also lost some metal musicians in the last 12 months, unfortunately, including Dark Angel guitarist Jim Durkin in March, Tank vocalist Algie Ward in May, former Metal Church drummer Kirk Arrington also in May, and former Wash drummer Steve Riley in October. Rest in peace, fellas. There were also announcements this year on bands in production for their upcoming albums. They include Coroner, Dark Angel, Death Angel, Deicide, Exciter, Flotsam and Jetsam, Judas Priest, Merciful Fate, Pestilence, Sodom, Vector, and Vicious Rumors, hoping they all release albums in 2024. However, this year we saw some amazing releases from Cattle Decapitation, Horrendous, Frozen Soul, Dying Fetus, and many others. In fact, if you haven't already done so, you should check out my top 10 metal albums of 2023 video released earlier this week for my favorites and my honorable mentions, as well as popular choices from others. Great year for metal. Anyways, given that, let's go through some channel highlights from this year. Starting with top 10 videos, of which I did at least 4 this year, including my first top 50 on classic metal songs. The others include weird moments in metal history, album cover art, and meeting metal and rock musicians. Absolutely wanting to do more of these in 2024. If you're interested in them, you should definitely let me know in the comments below. 2023 was also the year I did at least a couple of live stream appearances on other channels, both of which were my pal Jeff over at the Gas Mask and Hand Grenades channel. We definitely had a good time defending and deconstructing our choices for the definitive Van Halen album. I picked Fair Warning, he picked Van Halen 2. If you haven't seen it yet, you definitely should. I also made an appearance on Jeff's on and off show, The Catacombs of Depravity, as we and many others talked about our favorite Halloween music and movies. I went with horror movies and soundtracks, but it is a long one, I should tell you, but it is a lot of fun to watch, so look into it if you missed it. Moving on to my show, Hook Me Up, I put out 2 episodes this year, one with my pal Eric and the other with my pal Chris. Each of them turned me on to 10 metal vinyl albums from their collection. I gave them a listen, and then I told what I thought about each and every one of them. Always a good time, at least for us, but hopefully for you as well. Definitely a great way for you to check out albums I might not normally talk about on the rest of my channel. As for my Do I Still Hate show, it now has a sister show called Do I Still Like. Basically, it's the same premise, but I merely start with different opinions on the records initially. This year I covered So Far, So Good, So What by Megadeth, as well as Hysteria by Def Leppard. I really dig doing this show and taking apart a classic album track by track. I have 7 episodes of this available, so look into it if you haven't done so yet. As for thread response videos, I did 7 of them in 2023, including a couple I started myself. A few of my favorites do include the 20 album Metal Chain Challenge, Metal in Movies, and second album Better Than the First. In addition to supporting some great channels out there, they're also a lot of fun to watch and participate in. Of course, I'm looking forward to doing more of them in the coming year. Some of my favorite specials I produced for 2023 include a speculative piece on what 4 particular dead musicians might have done with their careers had they lived. Also a lyrical examination of sorts into Manowar and whether their songs are funny or awesome or even both. And one on classic metal band appearances in movies, which I really had a lot of fun with. Overall, it seems 2023 was a little light on these specials, and I probably need to do more of them in the coming year. Of course, let me know if you dig them and all that. Moving on to my concert series, I did manage one show to document, and that would be the Exciter concert at Ralph's in Worcester, Massachusetts back in October, along with Tower, Shadowland, Seax, and Face First. Killer show, and you get my pal Eric and I chatting about the sets in between. I don't always get to shoot every show I go to, but I hope you enjoy the ones I do shoot. So instead of simply plugging other channels as I've done in the past, I thought I'd recommend other people's videos I like throughout the year. Of course, many of these are from channels I support and are more often than not metal channels. Thought this might be a good way to check into what some of these content creators actually do and make. So you know what? Let's get to it. First off is the Road to Denver Deathfest Parts 1 and 2 from Thralls of Metal. Really great road trip video from Miller on his way to the festival. I am a sucker for road trip videos, especially when they involve metal, so this one was basically a no-brainer. And of course, bonus points for the drone footage. I mean, did Miller really navigate that thing while driving? If so, that's rather insane. Next is the angry Ozzy Osbourne fanboy drinking game, again, from the Metal Meltdown, in which Robert fields nasty comments from others on his assertion that Ozzy should retire, while taking shots of booze every time someone puts out some lame fanboy trope. I mean, the insults are cringy and ridiculous, but Robert's increased inebriation truly adds to the responses. It's a whole lot of fun. Next up is the record-buying habits of boomers versus millennials from channel 33 RPM. In this video, Frank discusses a recent survey that 50% of record buyers don't own a record player, among other related stats. A lot of good generational observations here, as Frank is often good at providing. Check it out. Next is, can AI make a good job of recreating these album covers? From Metal Mickey, in which Mike describes metal album covers to an AI program, shows results, and then has you guess what album it's supposed to be. It's a fun idea, and even I got a couple right. Also, check out the collab channel Mike participates in called Contact in Blood for streams on various metal topics. So yeah, cheers to Mike. Next up is my ultimate Death Doom playlist from the Death Doom Metalhead. So Liam definitely knows his Death Doom and graciously provides us with preferred tracks from a number of genre bands. If you're just getting into Death Doom, you should check out this video for good bands to start with, but also watch Liam's channel in general. Good stuff. Next is Metal Gaze, a power hour for a headbanger's ball from Chromium Dioxide Radio. So Philip cranks out yet another masterpiece of metal puppets, dioramas, and horror special effects to bring us cool content on obscure metal bands and albums, though this time through music videos. Hugely funny stuff, and you should already be watching his channel. Next up is Chatting with Justin Horval from Melanie Loves Death Metal, which almost explains itself, but there is a little bit of a backstory here. Anyways, Justin helps run the metal merchandising company Hell's Headbangers, along with his brothers, but he also hosts his own YouTube channel in which he does a whole lot of rants and general bashing of things he doesn't like, and of course, that ruffles some people's feathers. What I dug about this video is that you actually get to know the guy and make a more informed opinion on him. And truthfully, I gotta say it, I like his videos, whether I agree with him or not, which is kind of incidental anyways. Of course, I also get where he's coming from, and I think it's obvious that Melanie gets it too. And by the way, do check out Melanie's videos on death metal albums in general. Love her channel. Next is Venom at War with Satan, the Heavy Metallurgy Album Club dissects from, as you could guess, Heavy Metallurgy. So Marty and friends talk about the third studio album from Venom, as the title of the video amply states. Out of all the album club episodes I watched this year on Heavy Metallurgy, this is probably the one I enjoyed the most. But not only because it's a lesser discussed Venom album in general, but also for the variety of insight and opinions on this one. Great episode, great show, great channel. Next up is Headbangers Ball, the rise and fall of MTV's heavy metal show, and Ricky Rackman from Rock and Roll True Stories. So a really great look at the history of metal on MTV, leading up to the creation of Headbangers Ball, its initial 8-year run, and why it all went away, including a lot of great archival clips. Very well done and packed with good info. Check it out. Next is my favorite bands when I was a teenager in the 1980s from Len Enders. So again, title says what you're getting here, but Len definitely has his own definitive style, not to mention a wealth of VHS footage, photos, and physical media from his teen years as B-roll to help explain his video topics. Anyways, a lot of story-driven nostalgia here from someone who definitely walked the walk during the decade of decadence, like a lot of us really. Overall, a fun video from a channel that has a lot of fun videos. And of course, I'll provide links to each and every one of these videos in the description of my video, so you can watch them all whenever you feel like it, and of course, you definitely should. As for any and all plans for this channel in 2024, I cover all of that at my Patreon page. So if you're interested in that, as well as early viewings of my videos and lots of exclusive content, including a monthly radio show called MGP's Metal Playlist that I started back in April, go on over to patreon.com/The Accusation Network, check out the reward tiers, and see how you can contribute. It's a great way to show support for what I do, but also to get in on content not found anywhere else. I should also mention that as of January 1st, 2024, I will have been making videos on this channel for 5 years, which really flew by, even with a pandemic in the middle of it all. Anyways, I still love running this channel and making videos each and every week for all of you. I've also made some friends here and there, some of whom I already mentioned. Hats off to all of you who make awesome content on this platform in the name of metal. I watch it, I enjoy it, and sometimes I even find a new album or two to buy as a result. Thank you for that. Of course, thanks to all of you who watch my videos, like them, share them, and comment on them, especially if you've also subscribed to this channel. But if you got all this way as a new viewer, just so you know, my name is Matt. This is the Accusation Network, where each and every week I do videos on classic and modern metal, as well as metal vinyl collecting. Definitely check out all of my playlists for all the shows I do in and around those subjects. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next year in the next video.